Alright, hello and welcome back to Battle of Behemoths 3, where we'll now move on to the Undead, where there are 3 warbands. And the first on the docket, who's been practicing a lot, is Bookthief, one of our new PvP players. He's in the previous tournament and has joined this one. So he took probably what I consider the hardest destruction warband, so it's a big challenge, but he's taken the Undead. Previously he was the Witch Hunters. So the man likes it rough. And so we're going to lock these in so he doesn't have to suffer anymore rebuilding the warband after all his practices. So first we'll look at Commander Riker, his vampire, and then he has a necromancer. So Commander Riker, your vampire, big tanky leader. He's now considered a caster, which I kind of forgot. So he's been having some struggles with order. He can no longer get order for without costing SP. So I don't know if it says it. Oh, there it is. No, I don't know. Basically, he since he's a caster now, order costs him 1 more SP. So he's gone with body reconstruction for HP, 75% more for the undead, which scales based off your HP, which is how you get to 540. That and hardy. So these scale to be like almost over 200 HP added to the unit. I don't even know if that is a constitution rune. He could get more toughness though, but you get the point. Find the breach for armor bypass. This axe might help with that. And armor proficient. So big tanky guy. He has basic ad rush, strong blow for big damage. Intensity is the free one, retreats free, and swift jump is free. So since I am actually remembering he's a caster, we will look at that. He starts with Call of Van Hell Basic, and he's taken Corpse Flesh Mastery. So something tells me we might see Basic here. Maybe not, I don't know. But we'll definitely see Mastery Van Hell for stacking those. You can actually stack the dodge too for ghouls or thralls and the horror if you want some more dodge with all these daredevil builds we might be seeing. So that's Riker. Big beefy boy. Did I not see a stance? I didn't see a stance. So relying on armor and HP, and I did not see intimidate. So you can lock him down. Then we have Captain Picard. These are Star Trek. Yeah, I believe he's called the Forever Generation, which is a reference to the Next Generation. I think that's what they were called. Anyway, Warp Attunement. Oh yeah, he does Terror for free if everyone doesn't know that. Warp Attunement, this much maligned skill. If you pick up a stone, you have less curse chance and 1 less OP to cast. So you can just go nuclear with casting. Born Leader. He does have the body reconstruction, which is a cheaper, better version of Hardy. So you can stack them, but just this alone gets you pretty juicy. He does have Battle Tongue though, but only basic order. So you do get 3 of them per se if you have 3 SP. But then less hit chance and range. So that means this guy has to get... I don't want to critique too hard, but he's been talking to me a lot, and I can do this like on camera now. If I was going to give basic order to a unit, it would have probably been the vampire with massive HP and armor, because he can get closer to combat. This isn't a unit you want getting closer to combat. But, I mean, the other one doesn't even have order. But I feel like you can get away with basic order with the vampire to save some skill points. But just if you're going to pick one to order with, I think he'd maybe be the better choice. You got to watch out for jaw strikes at all times. But so this guy, to make up for that, maybe this would be his argument, he has Mastery Web of Steel. So even if he's getting closer, he can get a Web of Steel up. But if you've used 3 SP for order... This is 3 SP. You only can move a little bit. And then it looks like he has Mastery Combat Savvy. So, and I don't see Mastery Exhaustion or Meditation. So this guy might be a little pressed for SP. So this is my live feedback for him. I think he'd appreciate it. I hope he does. He has Battle Tongue for that cheaper order. And then improved casting because he wants to bypass. And he is not a hybrid. So if he gets Mind Eaten, this guy does need to get in combat. But he does have the tools for it somewhat. Again, Mastery Combat Savvy. This is most likely for his anticipation horror we're going to see. And maybe he has some zombies with some melee resistance. So that's a nice skill to boost that. And then the order, add rush basic. And then retreats are free. This one does have Rotten Touch Mastery. This is going to be his damage spell instead of Life Stealer. So since he doesn't have Mastery Exhaustion, he doesn't have to worry about pulling back some HP with a Life Steal. And Rotten Touch is just fine. If you pick up a stone, you're doing big damage for just 1 OP. And then he also has Mastery Corpse Flesh because he is not working in conjunction, but he replaces this unit. And then he has basic Van Hell. So this is a standard for his caster leader. And then he took Heart Failure. I think he was talking to me about this one. Whether he wanted it or not, or what to pick from, Spell of Doom or whatever. And looks like he went with Heart Failure. So a way to kind of mess up your OP and SP. Let's see if he has other tools to knock OP and SP off. We may as well stick in that vein, though I always forget to do the impressive. Well, not always. So let's just do the impressive first. My God. This guy is something. Something just shoved through his thigh. Whew. Does he come in a... Yeah, he's got the evil version. Sorry, you want him green? We can be green. This is Worf, Commander Worf, the Klingon. With his damage again, Terror. So 2 Terror units. Body reconstruction, but no Hardy to really get it way up there. There it is, the Mastery Anticipation. He has 12 and 18, so he starts at the gate at 30. You give him that Combat Savvy, he's at 45. And then he's going to try to stack from there with Anticipation. He does have Resist Magic. So he's at 37. This is Constitution, so that can go up another bit. And then what? Frenzy? Yeah, so decent magic resistance. This is a free slot. Looks like he gave him Initiative. Because he has a lot of masteries. He has Mastery Frenzy, Mastery Actives, Mastery Ignore Pain. So this is damage and defense with magic resistance. This is literally just armor defense. With Corpse Flesh, you're looking at 45, 55. He can put a Mandrake on for 65 with a good chunk of HP. Add Rush for 5 attacks. And then he has Mastery Intimidate. This is our 3rd Mastery Intimidate. So these melee resistance units need to look out. And then he has Armor Break on the Impressive. So he wants to break the armor and then get more damage out that way. So that is Worf. This is... Gonna see his stats, but that's chonky. Good crit chance, kinda. If you have ghouls stripping it. So yeah, then let's do this. Let's go back to these guys again. Oh, that's 3 of them. Trying to organize myself so I don't skip anybody. I was really struggling. We got 2, 2, and 2. So we got 2 Necromancers. This is Locutus. Necromancer. He has the Warp Attunement. Channeling. Study. You can see this is just raw damage dealer. Expert Casting for range. And improved casting for bypass. So all casting passives. And then a casting active. Quick casting. Some defense with Web of Steel. Decent defense there with the parry, and because the staff gives a lot. I believe it gives 30. Such a good weapon. 30 parry chance and allows it. Add Rush for utility, and then he's got 2 or 1 trap. I see you. So you take something like this if you don't want to get caught, right? You're in a house, you're up the steps, you're up here at the landing up here, and you put the little I see you at the top of the steps, so they have to trigger it, and you're like back in a room. And it could be a way to protect you. And what's it do? It releases, so you can 2-turn them, say they're fast. It takes away their initiative, and it reduces their fear, terror, and all alone. Which would go with, yes, Idol of Death as well. So a way to deal with melee resistance units, perhaps. And a way to protect this otherwise squishy kind of caster unit. So he has the basic Rotten Touch he starts with, and then he has Life Stealer. Then this one has Mastery Call of Van Hell. So if you remember, both leaders had basic. So he's able to come in and stack those on the zombies. This one does have the spell of Doom Mastery because he has study, giving him a free extra mastery, and then the mastery of Idol of Death. So no basic corpse flesh. You probably don't need to stack corpse fleshes, to be honest. So Locatus, the caster, in Q. Let's see what he is. He's a lot more HP. And he looks like a caster again. Channeling, expert casting, improved casting, just like the last one. And then he has body reconstruction in this slot. I already forgot. Oh, he had study for the extra spell. But he still has quick casting and add rush. And then he has to take the free. So this is for demonette, jump down points, intensity. So he lost the web of steel, right? And then the trap. So a slightly different build. And this is fun. I've talked about this a bit. Like, you need to go and do the league stage and figure out which one you like more. Do you like the one with 100 more HP or not? You know what I mean? And then go from there. Cut the fat. Well, you cut the fat, cut your losses, get rid of the shitty builds and replace them. And keep the ones you like, right? I'm not saying which one he'll like, but that should be what you're kind of doing during the league stage. Let's see if he likes the flexibility of one more mastery spell or whatever, you know what I mean? So he's got Rotten Touch, Life Sealer like the other one, Spell of Doom, and then Call of Van Hell. So it's like, am I missing that Idol of Death, or am I getting by without it? So it's a good way to test. Maybe you'll see these 50-50. So he has 2 caster necros he can bring. He can bring both if he wants. So that's the necros. Then he has 2 dregs. So the dregs work best by far with thralls and vampires due to their humble servant. Suffer 25 wounds, restore 60, and increase their initiative and dodge, which you can see where this is nuts against Daredevil builds. This guy... Someone's locked your vampire with a Daredevil build, he can just feed them and they'll never hit him again. It's nuts. You get a Van Hell, throw a bunch of humble servants. My god, this should be some of the strength that the Undead have. So Lieutenant Commander Data, the robot man, he does kind of look like him. He has 5 passives too, because that's an active. He's got body reconstruction. He has Find the Breach with a great axe, so he's an armor bypass. If you guys don't know, it's when you're engaged, 2 are engaged, which is a common setup. You see this with Swarm and some others. When you get 2 versus 1, you get the armor bypass of 20%. Pretty good. That's Mastery Armor Break. I mean, that's right here. So he can get 40 armor bypass by engaging a unit and then stripping it with armor break. So you can see some benefit against a warband like mine. Witch Hunters are the mercs. Armor proficient, so he has HP and armor. He's got resilience, so he doesn't lose that from crits. And he's got Embed Wordstone. I believe this is free. Anytime you see this easy to master, that usually I don't know why it's gone away, but it's a nice free one. It's like a buffed version of Wordstone resistance. And when you have 5 actives, sometimes you do just have a free one left over, because he has all these actives. He has Armor Break Mastery, Add Rush. He has Baby Daredevil. So if the opportunity presents itself, it's a fun way. Now, who would he use this? He has 0. Well, not 0, but that's 30 dodge bypass, but like not much else, right? So if it's a very heavily armored unit, which is clearly what he's up against, you could pop on the Daredevil and really, really get some big hits in. And then basic Intimidate. I think this is his... He has Mastery on the Impressive, so he now has basic on this guy, because he wants to get him on the unit with the armor and to break it. I think he's gone back and forth on that in a charging build. Yeah, it looks like he picked this one. This guy looks to be ranged, 20 ranged skill. This is Jordy, the guy with the eye thing on the head, I believe. The Reading Rainbow. Quick reload, mastery of course, and he's going to break your defenses. So he's going to try to get melee resistance bypass. It's quite interesting. You can take this to reduce melee resistance, and you can take, let's see if he has it, dismay and dismay. So you can take away 16 per shot. You can do 5 of them. That's a lot. Is that 80? You can basically strip fear and terror, and then you can take away melee resistance. You know, you can like just nullify serenity, and if you put down the idols and stuff. So undead are prone to serenity, but they also have been giving they've been giving the tools to deal with it. So this is one of his ways. Trick shooter to actually land those dismays. He's got knowledge of Mordheim because holy shit, he doesn't move anywhere otherwise. The embed wordstone, because there are secondaries for picking up the wordstone in this tournament, so you do want to pick them up. Nerve shot. This is 100%. Well, there's again, I said this in my warband. I have it, but it's for the cult, for stopping the chaotic advantage. Plus, it can just be good otherwise. Add rush for the 5 shots. He has meditation because he has 6 fucking movement, and then any jumping. So, not a huge HP pool to feed the vampires with, but since he's undead, you can usually take a few consumables because of the way the henchmen work. So you could take healing potions and just replace your HP that way. So yeah, he'll be feeding the thralls and the vampire in theory. So we have Deanna Troi, the love interest of Captain Picard. Or someone, right? Fuck. No, was it Riker? I think it was Riker's boy. So maybe Deanna works with Riker here. They're just a pair. The Picard is with that lady in the infirmary. Is that her? I don't know. That's not her name, I don't think. Anyway, I wasn't a Star Trek dork. She has fear, so he has fear and terror. Arcane study for a free mastery. Body reconstruction. Again, find the breach with this giant, awesome axe. That might be a halberd. Yeah, that's a halberd. Even cooler looking, honestly. And then resist magic. She has basic web of steel. Ignore pain for some armor. Strong blow mastery again, and then the trap. I see you. And he forgot to spend them, so we'll have to ask him what he meant to do. Here's another one. Oh boy, it happens. So we need to know what Deanna Troi is doing. My best guess is it's a buff. I don't think it's meant to be. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be like Warp Overcharge. And then maybe another buff. I'm just guessing, but what I've seen him doing. It could be the Call of Van Hell. Because he only had basic on this one and this one. And if you ban necromancers, he can't be fucked. So I am pretty sure it's this. Okay? It's important to know, because if she does magic damage or not, you need to know. Well, she kind of does with Warp Overcharge, but I'm pretty sure this is how he's going. And then we have Gwyneth. I don't know this one. Is this Whoopi Goldberg? She ran the bar, maybe? She's on that show. That little circle in the shield. You're supposed to poke your spear through there, I believe. I always love that they have this, but then they don't put the spear in there when they attack. They kind of keep it here. I guess it could work there, but I think you're supposed to kind of... Anyway. She has fear. Again, body reconstruction study. This one is even more magic resistant, and then embed wordstone. So that one had find the breach. So that one's the armor bypass. This one is even more magic resist. Web of steel jaw strike. Yeah, this is meant for like sisters, for sure. There's 3 of them. Maybe you too, Griffin. You've shown off your wolf priests. Askaven did have some warlocks. We haven't seen the cult fully. Death stench mastery. She opens her legs. And then you lose melee resistance. Dodge and parry. And then this one's death trap. So this one takes away OP and SP current. Again, not... This is just like the wordstone lower. It's not your max. It'll take them away that turn. and then gives you melee resistance. So this would be good for Worf. The horror is impressive, and then he's got basic ad rush. See, I think this is exactly what he was going to do. I don't see why they want to be different. So I would assume Mastery Warp Overcharged and Mastery Call of Van Hell. That's got to be what she was supposed to be. I haven't seen them cast offensively once. So I mean, they do. Again, they do. They have this. This is not nothing. 120 fucking damage for 2 OP. And then he did, like I was saying, I think he was going to have 2 of these guys. So I'll just organize them a bit. So he has 2 little baby ghouls. Vulcan Emissary. What a piece of shit. That's the other one. Oh, these are fun. Romulan Spy. Yeah. Engineering, science. Because they're all expendable, just like in the show. I mean, he needed the, like, red shirt guy, you know? Is it the red shirt or the yellow shirt? They just always fucking die. Anyway. This is Vulcan Emissary. Griffin, I told him in chat last night over Discord, like, you have now, and I'll admit this, he's a new player, and I don't mind. This is the point of this. I said, did you just see mine and Griffin's flagellants? I can't think of a better comparison than a fucking ghoul, right? So I'm like, take inspiration from them, please. Please. And so this is what we have now. And I'm glad we're going to see like a functional ghoul. I mean, I want to beat you because of rolls and positioning and not just because of better designs, right? So hopefully he likes it. I don't know. So he has a void and then knowledge tactics. Hardy he took, and then body reconstruction because the undead can do this. So it gets him pretty chonky, and he gets good dodge, right? So what is he? 135, and then you can do the Call of Van Hell, and you can get this guy going pretty cool places. He is at toughness. You can switch this easily to that. 155, right? Now we're talking. Like you're gonna struggle to kill this guy. Exactly. The any jumping, I told him to look into that too. Exactly. So I think this, hopefully he likes it. I don't know. I don't want people to say ghouls suck without really making like a good ghoul build. So look at that, 30, right? This guy can really dig in like a tick. That's why I think he gave him these annoying names of like, not a, you know, like the bad guys in Star Trek. Like, this isn't a unit you want getting onto you. Now he only has 6 movement on like our flagellants, but you know, you pay prices. And what I didn't talk about was disease carrier. You want to get a lot of these off, which can really mess you up in this Bob. You lose initiative, crit resistance, or this dodge and parry, right? So, and it's 3 turns. I mean, this is on you, and it stacks. It's just rough. It doesn't say stacking in here, but it does stack. Maybe it needs to add stackable. But clearly sidestep, add rush for the weapon swapping and stuff. He has intimidate, which I 100% think you need on this guy because he can't disengage. And then this one has jaw strike. Don't know what the other one has, but I told him, like, pick what you feel like you need. These are pretty good for his passives, and this is like personal preference. Let's see how the other one is. So this one's less chonky. Well, maybe only because, yeah, he went a little different on the agility versus toughness. But he can always do like, see that one has the agility. You can always plop that on there and be pretty chonky again. Because he has the same passes. Body reconstruction, hardy. Oh, this one has knowledge of Mordheim. I stand corrected. It looks exactly the same as tactics. Knowledge Mordheim, and then he doesn't have a void. He has embed wordstone. So a little less dodgy. Sidestep, add rush, intimidate, and this one then has kidney strike. So he went with more actives. So again, as he plays the league stage, he can figure out which one did I like more. You know, which one brought more utility? Was I glad I had kidney strikes when I needed them? Or if I didn't get I really wanted the initiative drop on the impressives. I couldn't get it, so I just whipped out a staggering blow. And then maybe if you get it, you get 20, right? It becomes mastery, basically. So nice little tools in his kit and a bit more mobility. So it's ironic. I'll just say it's funny he gave the one with more mobility, not jaw strike. I would have thought you give the mobility one jaw strike to get to the back lines. That might be the one critique, right? Like jaw strike should be on the 7 movement, in my opinion. But that's about it. Picking hairs. Hard to get. They can't take. Yes, I agree. There's different ways to do this. They can't take Sigillus Sigmar, but you can take an Amulet of Spell Breaking and be pretty set. There's got to be one in here somewhere. I mean, it's not amazing. But you can maybe take Magic Resistance. He could have taken some the basic Magic Resistance too. I admit they're a bit more prone to magic. They are. But I've said over and over, if you're casting magic on my Flagellant or on my Ghoul or on my Zombie, I feel like I'm winning overall. So it's not that essential. Like, oh no, you're wasting OP on my Ghoul. It's kind of a win, right? And they could resist some. They're not totally helpless with it. But yeah, you can't have it all. Let's see what it looks like. Is it spell breaking, right, or something? Spell binding? Should be 20, right? It gives him 20. Warding, that's it. That's not terrible. Anyway, you can't get it much higher, though. That's the problem, admittedly. But the only way to remove them, in my opinion, especially if they're on a Daredevil unit, is magic. So you can't intimidate them. That's actually like a really big thing for them. Unlike Flagellants, they can be intimidated. I don't know I think he has 2 melee resistance, 2 chonkers. Let's see here. You got Engineering, of course, Puppet, and Rotten Corpse. They start with them. But he has Body Reconstruction, Hardy, and then Find the Breach. So he wants this one. A reason you don't have to worry about Resilient with the Undead is Corpse Flesh. You really don't. And he's already at 20 anyway. So Finding the Breach gives you more damage. So he gets onto units. That's all zombies do. And then if you bring up one of those other ones, which we've seen, they now do better damage. Web of Steel. Even if all the Van Hell and everything falls off, you have a unit with 100 parry and Web of Steel, which is annoying. Add Rush for 3 attacks. Or weapon swapping. This one has the Jaw Strike. They can go very far. It is interesting that he didn't take Knowledge of Mordheim. That one little bit can help sometimes. Even if somehow you get elixired or dispelled, there's a big difference between 5 and 4. 5 isn't terrible. Most henchmen are 6, so it's not like the end of the fucking world. But you have to make decisions. And then he has the free skills, Guidance and Intensity. He gets less skill points, I want to say. Right? He only gets 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's part of the Puppet, I think. Or Rotten Corpse. I think they just get less skill points, but they have less passives to use them on anyway. And then we got Science Team. Something tells me these names aren't changing. So he's got Body Reconstruction Hardy. This one then has a Void. So this seems to be a dodge based. It seems redundant with the ghouls. Again, this aren't going to get amazing magic resistance either. He's got Sidestep, Feint. So, okay, he's with the shield, a bit of a melee resist dodge, a trap, and then the swift jump and intensity. So he's got the trap on this one. So a tanky one he wants to dig in against your impressive, or an equally important unit, against a wall. So it's not intimidated with its 3 fucking leadership. So he went all in on alertness and agility. And you get big numbers there. Look at those numbers for this guy, 48%. So he's 50, 60 after a feint. He can get some pretty good numbers. He can't get Serenity. Ground communication. This one is Shield Specialist. Again, I don't love this skill. I just have to say it when I see it. It's rough. I just feel like Flash Parry or something's always... Okay, he's going melee resist, I guess, though. This one's at 49. So this is like a test of which melee resist build do I like more. Right? And then body reconstruction. So I was wondering if I was mixing them. So Science Team is more of a dodgy melee resist. He's at 48. And this one's at 49, but is like less dodgy. So I don't know. We'll see which one he likes more. And then he's got feint. This one's got Web of Steel instead of the dodge. So it's like a, okay, it's like a parry melee resist where the other one's a dodge melee resist. This one has armor break instead of jaw strike. So if you see ground communication and Science Team, they're both melee resist. Engineering was more of a chonker, so I wonder if this guy... Yeah, this is the strength one I think I've seen him have. He has resist magic, knowledge of Mordheim, bull charge, frenzy, ad rush, armor break, death stench. And I assume he plugs them in with some of these other ones. You know, he's practiced a lot, so this one had the death stench mastery, and if you bring the basic, you can stack them, right? So he's a bit more of a chonker, and look at this damage, for example. That's why he's dual wielding. But still, if you can get him decent armor, and he's still just expendable, right? So this one's warded a bit. He's at 61. Wow, see? So you can get it up there a little bit. But this is the difference between he took a resist magic. You could take that on the ghouls and kind of get to a decent number. So there's Bookthief's team finally. We'll see him out there.